Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the 13th Dimension. It's been a minute. Um, and with me tonight, well, he's a veteran of the 13th Dimension. And we have a newbie with us tonight.
I'm a newbie?
You're a
Oh
newbie.
man, I'm a noob. I didn't know that. My way.
Hey guys.
Hey.
Please welcome Robert and Marie of Elite Paranormal Society. And tonight, we're actually going to focus a little more on Marie because
Oh no.
who the hell she is.
I love it.
How you guys doing tonight?
We're doing great.
We're doing great. Thanks, Jeremy. How you doing, buddy?
Doing all right.
Hey guys.
We had just gotten done with a slew of rain, like nonstop
Yeah.
for 3 or 4 days.
Us too.
It got so bad I actually had to turn my heat on this morning.
Oh, we've
Yeah.
done that.
We've done that too. Man.
Yeah,
It's like trying to prep the pool and get it ready, and yet it's so cold. It's not like you're going to get in the
I
next
haven't
month.
felt spring or summer yet, unfortunately. It still feels like it's winter just doesn't want to go away.
it it sure felt like that yesterday. That's for sure. But today it finally started to warm up, and now I'm thinking, okay, maybe I can turn my air conditioner on because I tried to fight it and fight it and fight it, and finally this morning I can't do it anymore because it's just barely gonna, at least here, is just barely gonna hit the 60s for the next week.
Yeah, it's crazy.
We're
Yeah,
actually in the 60s ourselves. We only have one day that's supposed to hit
I
70.
know we want to tan and we can't even do that. We're like
Yeah.
pasty over here. Like, damn, we're not used to this. Hey, Amber.
I am the same way. I'm just pasty white. I used to go to the tanning salon all the time.
Yeah, me too.
Um,
We're just going to buy one if it keeps up.
Yeah.
This,
At this
a
point,
tanning bed, not a
that's
salon.
hey, don't get me started. I'd be all down. I'd be down for a tanning salon. That's my alley.
Haunted house, haunted bed and
Haunted
breakfast,
tanning
and
salon.
tanning salon. There you go.
All in one.
So as I share this out, why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Because I know Robert, it's been a minute, but I always try to make sure you are on here once a season, and so far I think I've been able to meet that.
Yeah, we
Met
have
your
every
quota.
year. It's been tradition.
Yeah, this is season 5 for the 13th Dimension. I still can't believe I got this show up and running. This is episode number 102.
Wow.
Wow, that's
Congratulations.
a lot of
That's
episodes.
awesome. If
Yeah,
you haven't been
congrats.
behind the scenes and understand how much it takes to put these together and much less to keep them going, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah, especially when you're having to do it completely by yourself.
Yeah.
It's exhausting sometimes.
Yeah, I
I
am
bet.
extremely thankful. I cannot do this without a co-host, and my wife was kind enough to step up and be my co-host, and it's worked out great. I cannot. I hats off to you, man. I can't do this by myself. I'd stress out too much.
Well, the thing that I like about doing these shows is that I don't have to be the one to do all the talking. I let other people do the talking. I just sit back. Yeah,
Well, you picked the right person. I do have a habit of gabbing.
Yeah. Let him do it.
Oh no! Oh no! It's gonna be. Introduce yourself, honey. Go
I'm
ahead.
an introvert, so I don't usually like to socialize, but I mean, this is kind of different.
It is different. It puts you in a different perspective, and yet you've
Yeah.
done really well at it. So it's great to see.
Yeah, I usually don't like people. I'm just being honest.
Which is perfect for our field. That's why we spend so much time talking to the dead.
Yeah, I'd rather talk to the dead, honestly.
that's exactly what I was thinking. Because I am not a people person either. I have said many times I hate people.
I do too, honestly. People just irritate me. That's why I don't like leaving the house.
No,
Do
you're
I?
right. No, you're very true about
Recently,
that.
I just started leaving the house because I want to work out. That's the only reason why. And I'm
You
too,
want to tan,
and I
let's
want to
be real.
tan. Both, actually.
Uh, I've been doing some working out myself, and I use the Insanity program.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
a tough one.
it's hard,
Yeah, it is.
but I like it. So, so introduce yourself. Who are you, Marie?
There you
Who
go.
am I?
Yeah, who are you? You just
Short version, okay?
I'm short to start with. I'm
Stop.
five. I'm only 5'1", so um, I'm Marie Murphy. I'm married to Robert Murphy.
How long you been in the field?
Been in the field for like little over 2 years.
So she'd be considered a newbie. You
But
know,
see, I've been having experiences with spirits and all different types of things, ETs, pretty much most of my life. So I don't think I'm new to actually being around spirits
no.
because
When we say
I,
newbie, we don't mean new to
I think,
experiences or anything.
right, I may be new to investigating,
Yes.
but as far as interacting with spirits and, paranormal things happening to me, I'm definitely not, that is not new to me at all.
we do get that with a lot of people when they get into the field, and most of them never realize that there is an investigation field to get
Yeah.
part of.
I didn't realize it, honestly. I know I used to see it on TV, but I didn't realize people actually went out and like there was like this whole community of paranormal people. Until I met Rob, I had no idea. I
Well,
honestly did not.
and you're also a builder now.
Yeah, and also build paranormal. See, this is one of
Yeah,
my kids I build.
I've been seeing some of you guys' stuff, and I'm thinking, holy cow! Robert just got into this about a year or so ago.
It's been 2 years now.
It's been
Yeah.
two. Yeah,
Wow! And
Yeah.
now,
Thankfully, I've got my
Empire.
son is like MacGyver, you know, he just
yeah,
says, I didn't know anything about electrical connections or anything else. And he was like, just tell me what you're trying to do. And he showed me the ropes. And since then,
yeah.
I got into it. And then Marie, before long, she's going, well, I'd never be able to do that when she sees all the different wires come out of something. And I like, you want to bet? And,
Well,
you know,
see, I have this is another thing about me. I have very, very severe ADHD. Seriously. So I didn't think I would be able to even concentrate to sit still, but I actually like it.
I can see something like that as being, I don't want to say therapeutic, but
Yeah.
as being able to help you focus.
Yeah, it
actually it
does.
does.
It
Yeah.
really does.
So that's
I hate this chair.
really cool.
I know
It's
they're
like
noisy.
squeaky. I can't.
So you never investigated until you met Rob?
Never. I never investigated until I met Rob.
And then we had a wonderful
Oh
start with
gosh.
that.
It was like maybe a few months into dating Rob that he decided to take my kids on an
Your
investigation.
kids asked for it.
Yeah, they did.
They didn't ask for that, but they asked for it.
Well, I guess I have to start off with I used to live in an active house, a haunted house. I would say the activity there was pretty ramped up. The first night there, this woman came to me in my dream like she was being tortured. It was terrible, like her skin being ripped off her arms and just dangling and screaming and just it was horrible. A couple weeks went by, and then my daughter, she started having these same dreams, which I didn't know about until she starts talking about this woman in the kitchen and describing this woman because the daughter I'm talking about, she can see spirits. And I'm like, you're talking about the same woman that I was dreaming about when we first moved in. So we kind of started comparing notes with each other, and we're like, yeah, we're talking about the same lady. And she would always be in the kitchen, and her and I would both have this reoccurring nightmare about her being tortured. I would say probably 6 months into living at that house, it was, I would say, the most life changing experience I ever had with a spirit is when she was crying one night and she came. I was half asleep in bed. Nobody else was home. This woman here kind of like a light moan and cry. I'm like, okay, I'm just hearing things. The next thing I know, she's laying next to me. I can see the indentation in the bed, and I didn't know what to do. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I was the most terrified I've ever been in my entire life. Like this ghost woman is laying next to me, and nobody's home. I don't. I pretended I was dead. I was like, maybe if I quit breathing. So I was taking the most shallow breath as possible. So I was like, I'm just hoping she'll go away. I didn't. I wouldn't open my eyes. Not until someone came home. And then I didn't look to see if I was terrified. That was before I was into the paranormal.
Did you ever
So,
figure out who she was?
well, this is how I ended up meeting Rob. So fast forward, the Navy ends up having to buy this house because they're extending the runway. So we had to sell this particular house to the Navy, which I was kind of happy about. Like, hey, yeah, take. So I made like $100,000, and I got rid of the haunted house. So I was happy. So I lived in Maryland at the time. We got the money. We moved to South Carolina. I stayed there for about 5 years. The weird part is, even after I moved to South Carolina, this lady was still reaching out to me. Like, she wanted me to come back there. Like, she needed help, and which I thought was
Back
really
to the
bizarre.
house.
Yeah. So
Okay.
all kinds of personal things happened in South Carolina. I ended up moving back to Maryland. And after moving back to Maryland, I got a very strong draw. Like, this woman wanted me to come back there. That's actually why I got in touch with Rob, because of this whole incident. And so we decided to go out to the house with my kids, the old house.
Well, we did some ghost hunting first, as far as
Oh,
it was the
yeah.
first time one of your kids been ghost hunting, the others haven't.
Yeah.
It was two of your daughters out of four.
I have
Two of your
4 daughters.
daughters,
Yeah.
and one of them's boyfriend.
Right.
And so we go out ghost hunting, and everything was going well.
Well, yeah, I don't know about going well, because we saw this guy at the gate before we got to the abandoned graveyard that was back off into the woods a little way. And this guy is like, he starts up a conversation. He's like, "Oh yeah," we started talking about we're doing paranormal. We're looking for the graveyard. He's like, "Oh yeah, it's back there in the woods." And he was like, "Yeah, my grandfather and my father were murdered in the house back here." We're like, "Oh no, we're so sorry to hear that." He was like, don't worry about it. That
It
kind of thing
happens.
happens." Like, what? I was like, "Oh my god!" So I was freaked
Not
out.
what we expected, But we went in the cemetery.
Yeah.
It's an old overgrown cemetery, really
Which is
cool.
really cool.
Great for them. We were
Yeah.
doing the flashlights. They were having great activity. But the weird part is there's 3 females there, and all the females at one point smell sulfur.
Yes.
I don't smell it, and the other
Well,
male
first
doesn't.
it was Kara, then Kayla, then I smelled the sulfur. You and Keyshawn did not smell the sulfur.
We didn't
which is-
smell anything, so we really didn't think too much
Yeah.
about it.
Not at the time. So where this particular location is, I don't know if you guys know where Point Lookout is, Point Lookout, Maryland, but it was a lot of war things that happened there.
During the Civil War, it
The
was
Civil
a
War.
prison camp.
It was a prison camp. It's very much an active, haunted, well-known location, especially the Point Lookout
Lighthouse.
lighthouse. Yes. So we went there. We had no activity though.
Nothing.
We got thrown out by the guards down there at the park, the Point Lookout Park, but we had no activity, nothing there.
And then you decided, hey, can we drive by our old house?
So my old house was only, maybe 5 or 6 miles from Point Lookout, maybe a little bit more, but in that general area. So we decided, hey, let's swing by there. Oh boy.
The house had already been demolished, but there was a shed
Yes.
left on the property. The government demolished the house, left this little shed there for some reason. So we pull up. It's overgrown, the driveway. There's no cars coming, so I'm just on the road itself. We're just looking at it for a moment. And there's only so much time you can really look at an overgrown property and go, okay, that's
Right?
good.
I don't think I ever would have ever thought I would hear that you had gotten thrown out of a place, Robert.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, we've gotten thrown out of parks a couple times. In
Yeah.
Gettysburg, we got thrown out too.
Wow.
And that's
I'm
the
not
only
fast on my feet like her. I don't go to the other places that are posted. She would in a heartbeat.
like abandoned houses and stuff like that. I will definitely go into. I do not care if it says no trespassing. I do not. That's just like a whole welcome sign to me.
So we've got her 2 daughters are in the back seat.
Yes.
The one with the boyfriend is sitting in the middle, and the boyfriend's on
So
the passenger backside.
Kayla is the I think she was 17 or 18 at the time. She's the oldest one at the time that's with us, and then my other one that was 12 or 13 at the time. Her name is Kara. So Kara and Kayla, as we're driving by where the house used to be, like Rob said, the shed's still there. They see like what is it, like a blue light open and close, and then they start. Both of them are freaking out.
We just start to drive away when
Yeah.
they start screaming in the back seat about this blue light and freaking out.
The two of them were the only ones that saw this supposed, and they're screaming, "Oh my gosh! There's a portal that just opened up by where the shed used to be, and it closed." So they're all freaking out, talking about this portal. So I'm thinking Kara is freaking out because of the portal, but the whole time she's getting these images in her mind
She knew nothing about previously.
of everything that Kayla and I experienced at that house.
The woman and what happened to the woman, she's now seeing all
Yes,
this in her
and
head.
Kara was only an infant when we lived in that house. So
And she's the oldest?
Kayla's not is my second oldest. I have one older than her, but she's the one that experienced the same spirit activity at this house.
But Kara is now the target.
But it's Kara, the one that was just an infant at the time when we lived in this house, that's getting all these images of this woman. She knew nothing about this. So she's freaking out. She's screaming about this woman being tortured, and she's just, I mean, going ballistic. So I think, Rob, you start driving away, and then I think you were like, you didn't have, you're like, I don't have anything with me. I think we had like a holy water in the door handle.
I remember there was a bottle of holy water in the back seat in the door. And so I asked them to hand that out to me. The whole time, Kara's absolutely losing her mind, screaming all these things. And now the next daughter is starting to be affected by it as well.
Because Kayla says, I think it's trying to get to me now, because you could look at her, she could tell that she was struggling, fighting something off.
So is this thing being attached to you, or is it attached to something that you...
I don't know.
It was at the property itself.
It was at the property, but it did reach out to me. Like I said, even when I moved to South Carolina, I felt the strong pull towards this woman. And I don't know if it was something bad trying to get me back there. I don't know.
Things can develop energy cords where it doesn't matter. It's not that they're right in your presence, but they can influence you from a distance away. And in this case, it was definitely, again, it was like trying to pull her back.
Yes.
The whole time. Now the youngest is now affected. Now both girls in the back feel affected. And as we're driving away, they're screaming, and especially the youngest one. And so I took the holy water behind me and I start squirting and just trying to hit her with the holy water. Because a lot of times, even if it was just her imagination, let's just say, not the fact that everything was in common to what the older ones have already experienced. Normally that would just be enough to shock them. You get hit with water, it shocks you and gets you out of it. And that...
Was I supposed to share this?
Just put her into tears. At that point, she started crying, which we didn't know until the next day when we were having lunch, that she felt like I was burning her with fire. I had no idea at the time. She was just screaming so much. So I was just racing back to the hotel so I could get my kit, get my sage, and I have a few things that I do to take care of things.
Sorry. I was trying to figure out how to share it out, but I couldn't figure it out.
On the way back, Marie starts screaming, "Leave my daughter alone." I'm like trying to calm her down, going, "It's relax, because it wants you to lose control. Relax. The closer we get to the hotel, the worse it's going to get." Shortly after that, we're coming up to a major intersection, the only one I think they have there. And she starts rolling down the window. I'm
before that, Kara started, right after he hits her with the holy water, she starts screaming, "I'm homicidal.
I'm feeling homicidal.
I'm like, at who? And she's going like this to Rob, and I'm like, oh shit. So at this point, like, I'm not affected. Like he says, he's trying to get back to the hotel because that's where he's got all his stuff at, his cleansing kit. And I'm not affected until I start yelling at the thing in the back to leave my daughter alone because I got pissed. And then that's when I start rolling down the window at the intersection.
She's rolling down the window. I'm trying to get to the hotel as fast as possible. Get to the major intersection, and here comes an ambulance is coming in, making a left-hand turn. I'm going straight. I just kept on going. Right at that point, before we got to the ambulance, both her and the one in the back just let out this incredible long scream. I thought she was turning down the window to get some air. For some reason, she wanted everybody to hear her scream, because both of them start screaming at the same time.
Well, he said we're screaming at the same time, but I don't remember that. I don't know.
Before you guys started dating, right?
This is we had only
About 2
been
months.
we only been dating a few months when this happened.
Oh, okay. Because I'm trying to get my timeline straight.
Yeah.
All of
She's
this.
heard all the stories about the dating, and while we were dating, she's heard stories about the paranormal because she's very inquisitive about wanting to
Yeah.
know things that happen. And I know some of the stories that I tell. She's probably in the back of her mind. She's got to be going, "Yeah, right, whatever." Maybe I'm have to
Well, I
second guess
thought
this.
Rob
I
was
can
psychic.
see that because I've heard some of your stories.
Yeah.
They're
And
crazy,
I
right?
thought he was psychic. I'm telling
laugh
you.
at a lot of this stuff too.
Everything he said happened. Like he was like, it's every people are gonna go after me. Kara was going after him. You said the thing about the sulfur and that being related to something that possibly could be demonic, and then we were all affected. I'm like, and then he was like, closer we get to the hotel, the worse it's gonna get. I was fine, and then he says that, and then we're getting closer to the hotel. What happens? I'm freaking affected, and I can't even remember the last part of that. I'm like, oh my gosh. I definitely got the first hands-on encounter. It was pretty neat though.
Hey, and just get it out of the way so she can have that encounter and decide if
Yeah.
she wants to be in a relationship or not. It was all a plan from upstairs, I guess.
Right?
It worked out great. We got to the hotel, pulled them all out of the car, had the boyfriend sit over top
Poor
of them, just wait for a
Keyshawn.
second.
Yeah.
He hasn't said like almost anything
He
the
was
entire time.
sweating the whole time and he didn't say a word. He was just still like, I'm not here.
He probably wondered, do I want to be in this relationship?
Right.
How long did it take to get you guys all straight?
Honestly, after he did whatever he did with the sage and whatever it was, maybe 30 seconds at the most, and we were all fine after that.
The
Yeah.
weird part is
All it takes.
the next
Yeah.
day we're sitting there talking. We went to a late lunch and we're talking, and then all the kids are like, "When can we do this
Yeah.
again?" And it's like right up my alley. I love these guys.
Yeah, my kids definitely are into it. They love it.
And yet they were all screaming out the window, bloody murder.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. My hearing went down after that.
Well, I was just getting ready to ask you if you lost any hearing since then.
I am so thankful she at least was kind enough to roll the window down a little bit
Yeah.
before she started screaming. At least some of it got to go
But
out.
it's so cool because this whole thing that happened with this house and everything I went through at this house, it led me to Rob, which was great. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm extremely thankful. I'm so blessed.
So definitely the paranormal brought us together.
We
I
went
think it's
back.
pretty
We
cool.
actually did a cleansing on the area.
Yeah.
She's never had a draw again.
Nope.
Never had any mental pictures of anything there.
I have not had the same draw. I have not had dreams about this woman. Nothing since he went back. We both went back and he did the cleansing. Yeah.
So
I think
So
she
now I gotta wonder, while you're screaming down the highway, you were in town, right?
yes,
yeah.
So how many people heard the scream?
I don't know.
I don't know. I couldn't even hear. I tell you what, it was loud enough, Jeremy. I couldn't hear the ambulance's sirens. Honestly, between the back and the side, I couldn't hear anything at that point.
I can believe that if you got five screaming women.
It was two. It was just the two of them that were
It was
screaming.
me and Kara were
Oh,
screaming.
just the two of you. Okay.
Kayla was the one that kept it together. I didn't lose it until I started yelling at it to leave Kara alone, and then I guess it decided to come for me.
She's in the front seat. We're in a Jeep, and she's holding my hand. The whole time she thought she was holding Kara's hand, the
Yeah.
youngest in the back. I'm like, you're up front with me. You're holding my hand. You were never holding her hand.
I don't remember that.
She couldn't know. I mean, it just right off. That was cool, though.
I remember some of it until I started getting affected, and then I'm like, I don't remember. It's so crazy.
Right.
I didn't believe that could happen until it happened to me. I was like, yeah, right.
That's generally how it goes.
Yeah.
You will not believe it unless you've seen it or experienced it.
Yeah, I mean, it honestly, and I don't blame anybody for going, yeah, right. How many Flintstone vitamins has this guy been taking when they hear the stories? But I don't care who believes
That's
it.
why-
When you experience it, you know it's real.
That's why I try not to tell everyone everything I've been through because I know I sound like a fruitcake.
Yeah.
Because it's not only just with spirits, I've had things with I've had encounters with with the ETs, with the UFOs, the extraterrestrials. We want to go down that road.
Well, there's also Sasquatch because we got.
Well, I've had
Sasquatch
cryptoid experience
out here.
too.
Well, you've had Denise and Ernie on from
Yeah.
Pac-Man Paranormal.
several times.
We are actually going down to visit with them for their
Yeah.
trifecta, which is
I'm so
an active
excited.
area.
Finally going to meet up with him.
What's that?
You're finally going to meet up with them.
Yeah. I've
Finally.
experienced everything except for the squatches, and I'm ready for that. I'm so ready. I'm so
Well,
excited.
better bring it, especially if they bring Squatchman with them. Greg,
They're going to
Yeah,
have.
he's
Yep,
gonna be there.
he's going to be there as well. Yep.
that's going to. I haven't had a chance to meet Greg myself, but just Denise, if you get the full Pac-Man experience, you don't need to go out to the woods.
Yeah, right.
I actually stayed with them for a few days at the Ditto House. They put me up while I was going to Waverly for a 2 night thing. Uh,
Yeah.
so I got to experience the whole Pac-Man thing.
Oh, I can't wait. We're gonna be staying at the Ditto House. This is the first time we're gonna be there.
So you'll get to meet Little Red, the dog,
Oh,
sweetest dog you'll ever
I
see.
love animals.
Yes. Oh, you will love Red. He's the
Red stays there.
sweetest
Huh?
dog ever.
Hey, I'm not gonna steal her dog, babe. What?
Well,
We do need
As
a
much
dog.
as you want a dog.
I do want a dog, but we travel so much that I
Yeah.
know it's not practical. So
Great understanding. Good. Thank you, babe.
yeah.
I'm
Well,
eventually I will have a dog.
there, there are some people out there that take dogs with them on investigations, and they actually utilize them.
And I
Yeah,
don't blame them.
yeah.
I get that.
Animals are smart. They pick up
Yeah.
on things that humans don't. So,
Exactly.
Yep.
yeah.
Just don't use the dog whistle.
Well, I can hear dog whistles, so I don't know what kind of animal I have in me, but it's still.
Remember, I was talking about bringing that up. Jeremy, have you done any more with that, with utilizing the dog whistle on your investigations out of curiosity?
I haven't really done anything. Well, in the last 2 years, I've only done 5 investigations. So I hadn't really had much of an opportunity to use the dog whistle. But there in the beginning, when I was using it, holy cow, I was using it left and right and getting all kinds of stuff happening.
That's a good idea,
For
Aaron.
anybody that's not aware of it, the reason
Yeah.
why I brought it up, which is phenomenal, this is part of the networking process, and Jeremy's been full of plenty of information, and he shares it, which is great. But
Well, I
he
got another
knows
one for you tonight too.
what's that?
I've got another one for you tonight that I want to discuss with you.
I'll be looking forward to hearing it by all means. But Jeremy went ahead and said that he ended up out of curiosity, took a dog whistle with him,
Mhm.
and noticed that if activity was calm, relatively calm,
Mm-hmm.
it seemed to pick up every time he ended up when he started using the dog whistle. It seemed to pick up activity. Is that right?
More, uh, more along the lines of spirits getting aggressive.
Aggressive.
Wow.
Okay.
Because the first time I tried it, the guy that was standing next to me, he all of a sudden had a scratch on the back of his neck. It drew blood.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Then there was another one. I had something try to manifest itself in front of me at Waverly.
Wow.
Nice. It's
Um,
a low tone and frequency. Gotcha.
well, it definitely the frequency. And what it is that the frequency of the dog whistles hurts the spirits. So that's kind of given me the idea that okay, if these things hurt the spirits, what would happen if we try it on somebody who's possessed?
Oh wow.
No, I love that. I do believe that frequencies can make a difference on somebody. Absolutely. With an attachment or with under possession. Absolutely.
I wonder why I can hear such high pitched frequencies.
We've had 2 locations that I've gone to, one of which she was at,
Yeah.
different locations and different people. And the males cannot hear the frequency of this whistle, but the
Yeah.
females hear it every time. And even after we would replay it live, replay the video or anything, the same thing.
And
for
there's
those
no
watching.
reason that this whistle should have been there in the first place because we were in a graveyard way back off in a private property area.
But you
Worth a
guys would
barn.
react to it.
Yeah.
The dogs, there's 2 dogs basically
Yeah.
across the street that would react to it every time.
And our equipment would go off when we hear the whistle as well. So it was definitely related to something.
The one thing I've always had to throw in as a disclaimer, because one of my dear friends decided to try this out. What for the life of me, I don't know why she would ever do this, but she used the dog whistle at a cemetery,
Wow.
and whole team got chased off by coyotes.
Oh
Oh
God.
wow, wow.
Wow. Yeah, that's
That's not something you'd expect. No kidding.
hmm.
Wow.
I know.
Yeah.
Couldn't wait to tell me about it till the next day. And when she told me, it's like, no, you're not supposed to do that. I know you. So ever since then, whenever I bring up the dog whistle to anybody, I have to throw that in there. You just don't know.
Very true.
Yeah.
We had a fox come out screaming at a cemetery one time, and you could tell most people were from the city and had no idea what they sound like. My team was losing it. They were all getting out. They were booking into the next
Oh
zip code. They
man.
were like, "Yep, we're out of here."
Uh, do you guys, are you familiar with aura photography?
With what?
Aura photography?
Aura?
No. Are
No.
you talking about as far as taking actual photo? Yes, yes,
Yeah, to capture your aura.
Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
I've heard of
The,
it.
where it's supposed to detect your energy and
Yes.
Yep.
well, I just had that recently done to me last week,
That's
and they told me that they would. Well, two things actually. First, I heard about it from John Griffin
yeah.
years ago, and he was doing this as experiment to try to get the aura of the spirits in the house. Well, I
Interesting.
was over at an oddities convention a couple hours west here to meet up with a guy named Grizzly Chris. He's one of the other show hosts here on the network and has his own network running. And he actually has aura photography as a business.
Oh,
And
that's cool.
he just does that with people. And it got me thinking, what if, and this is what I was going to talk to you about, Rob, see if this is something you'd be interested in trying. What if somebody does or photography on every member of the team at the beginning of an investigation and then doing it at the end of the investigation to see what has changed for the individuals.
That's pretty neat.
I really like that idea.
Yeah.
That could be really interesting, especially honestly if you really pay attention to it, and then you again continue to observe even afterwards. We know it happens. People go home, unfortunately something travels with them or whatever, something changes with them, or even during, if something changes with an individual, and just see how affected they are.
And that
I love
happens
it.
more often than not.
Great. I love that idea. Yeah, no, that's a great idea, Jeremy. Wow.
Yeah,
I like
so I've already passed that on to John because I know that he has that capability of doing it. Or at least he did. He said he hadn't done it in a few years.
So
Yeah.
what color was your aura?
Um,
I'm just
there's there was a whole lot of crap.
I
okay.
bet so, given what you've been through, Jeremy.
Yeah, that was one of the reasons. One of the things is that I'm really blocked off, which is, that, that's accurate because I am. The photograph is actually in the next room. I didn't think to bring it with me, but there's there, there's a lot of trauma and negative stuff in it. So that's to be expected.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I mean, which is good because it gives validation, because you know obviously what you went through. So
Yeah.
if it picked up in the same areas, that would be pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and I like the whole thing because not only did she take the picture of me, but she also had me put my hand on this little base that is supposed to pull the energy out of my hand. I'm not really
Wow.
sure how that works, um, but I'm really very curious. But it showed all kinds of colors. It showed all kinds of colors. But the stuff. Oh, you guys were frozen there for a minute.
Are we frozen?
There was a little bit of a
There's like a glitch going on.
Yeah, you're fine now, but you were frozen there for a second.
Oh.
Um, but Beth, it had all kinds of colors in it, and it described a whole bunch of different things. But one of the more prominent ones is that I'm blocking something out, which I do. I'm
Yeah.
not going to lie about that. I do block a lot of things out, but I also am like what we were talking about at the beginning of the show. I'm antisocial.
Yeah, me too.
I am terrible staying in touch with people.
Guilty.
Yeah, right.
No, Gina can attest to that. I mean, my gosh.
Yeah, but you're not antisocial.
No, but
How is she doing, by the way?
Gina's doing great considering everything, all the hurdles she's been through.
Yeah.
Amazing woman. I keep telling her she needs to write a book. It's amazing.
She's on
Actually,
the
it'd be a
live
series of
chat.
books knowing her. What's that?
She's on the live chat right here.
Yep, she's on.
Oh, I thought you said Janie.
No, Gina. No, I
Oh,
don't honestly talk to Janie.
okay. I thought. I'm sorry. I thought you said Janie.
No, all good, all good.
Okay. So, but yeah, that's something. When they did that oil photography thing on me last week, that it just made me wonder what if. And I think that's what a lot of the paranormal stuff and the things that we do for experiments, it all starts out with that question: what if
Mm-hmm.
this?
Yeah.
It's great because it's no different than people will talk about feeling cold. They'll be cold on the skin or whatnot. And if you actually go ahead and check the surface, you turn around and take your little laser, check the surface, they'll find there's no change. But I definitely believe it's their energy that's being affected, not so much their body temperature.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying that they can't get cold or something like that, but more times than not, it's actually their energy, our energy around us, that can be affected or influenced first and foremost.
Yeah, I notice how I my body reacts when I'm near something, a spirit. So you got to kind of pay attention to your body, how you're feeling.
I think it would be a good thing to also use on the clients. Get get their photography on them and see, okay, what's their body telling us, not just their words.
That
Yeah,
that would be really, really interesting,
that
especially
is.
considering, again, treating negative locations and
Yeah,
people. It's amazing because we watch the people, and she's been able to watch this as well. Because if whoever the main person is in a case, if they're truly affected, usually their anxiety goes through the roof the day
yeah,
that we're going to show up. And it would be neat to do that on the beginning, and then after I treat them, see if there's any actual physical change to their aura. That would be.
yeah. And I wonder, like, if people that are affected by something, and like a negative entity or whatever, I wonder if it does affect their aura.
Well,
And
this is a
then,
way of finding out. It would
yeah,
be a
I
great
wonder what.
idea.
I mean, I wonder how it does. That would be good to know. That would be neat. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm looking online right now to see what an Aura camera costs because I'm actually very curious about this.
Yeah.
No, that I haven't even heard anybody really think about doing
I
it on a.
never thought about that, to be honest.
But doing it on a scale like this, you could definitely go ahead and
Yeah,
see some credible results.
I think so. Yeah,
That would be pretty phenomenal.
yeah.
Let's see. Well, I'm not getting a price on the camera, but this one website says buy a camera, you can earn $1,600 a month doing this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty neat.
Yeah, after you pay the 16 grand for the camera, okay.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me in the least if it was the about the same amount as what a lidar is. Because I think you and I have talked about the lidar before.
Yep.
I think I would love to get my hands on one of those, but my wallet would kill me.
But
there is a lot of neat aspects that you and avenues you could try.
but it's worth, and unfortunately, this is where networking is so important
Yeah,
because getting an idea out there like this, and you have different people in different areas going through it, it would be amazing.
Or a AURA.
The aura is like protection around you, and when the colors change, then it's being impacted by something. The colors are what shows emotions.
yeah.
Now, again, I think it's a great avenue to go down, and hopefully get more people to do it. I think that's a fantastic idea.
Well, I'm really into the spiritual side of things, so I know your aura is definitely uh, it's also depending on your chakras if they're balanced or not. What your aura is gonna show that has a lot to do with it. So,
Well, I can tell
But
you right now, my balance is way off.
but on a short time scale, that's why he says if you take everybody before they investigate or they
yeah,
go to a location, check them out, and then check them afterwards,
Yeah.
there really should be no difference technically,
yeah.
unless something
Hey,
influences
Matt.
them. Matt's on. Hey, Matt, what's up?
Yeah,
Yeah, there should be no difference, but there's usually always that one person that's affected way more than anybody else on
yeah.
it.
If somebody shows up with a black aura, I'm gonna be like, yeah, there's something going on with you.
Come on,
I'm wondering what
sit
Rob's
down.
aura is. All the stuff he's been into. My God,
I, I don't think I would dare
we're
try
gonna
to.
have to get this done. I'm intrigued now.
Yeah, because yeah, you do all the risque stuff.
The fun stuff.
Oh yeah,
The
Yeah,
fun. Well,
yeah. He does.
stop. Don't use words like that.
I like that word.
The fun stuff. Yes, absolutely. Stop.
Okay,
Pay
put it
attention.
on the
so
milder side of things. Yeah,
No, the more active, the more extreme, the better it is. I mean,
yeah,
that's why I'm in the field. You want to see things. There's a chance.
recently, I noticed on one of your recent posts that you now have an online store uh, for your equipment.
Yeah, we're doing it mostly off of Etsy. We are equipment builders. We've been building. I've been building for the last two
yeah,
years. Marie's been building for the past year, which is a big, big help. Trying to get products out there that look. Most time, if you go and buy products, it's crazy how expensive things are. So to
yeah,
be able to try to put items out there, but items that we would want to use as investigators, like trigger objects.
yeah. There you
There it
go.
is. Thank you very much.
24 Elite.
Can someone click on that link and make sure? Uh,
Should be 24elite.etsy.com.
okay, well
Should,
that's not what I got. I just got the etsy.com/shop.
is that what came up?
Yeah.
Okay,
Well, if
whichever
it,
way it comes
whatever,
up.
however it works,
Hopefully, as long as they can get to it, that's all that matters to
right?
me.
So if somebody can click on that link and make sure that works, that'd be great. Because on my end, it's got the HTTPS and then like a ghost look, and then the website.
I've never even seen that one, quite honestly, but that's cool.
So yeah,
Matthew is with Dark Echoes Paranormal and TV show now, and they actually use our equipment, which is great.
Yeah.
So
okay, yeah, I've seen a lot of those posts.
love it.
And we just went to Penhurst recently,
That
and we
was
did great. I love
Yeah,
Penhurst. I
I had
can't wait to
to
stay the
go
night
there 2 years ago,
over
and I had to miss.
What's that?
I got a chance to go there 2 years ago, and I had
Oh,
had
wow.
to miss. I hated that.
Yeah,
So, how was that place?
I like it.
she didn't get a chance to investigate. We would love to investigate it sometime, but we were there
It's
as
a,
vendors, and it was amazing.
I can tell you there is a lot of spirits there. A
Yeah, they were
lot.
messing with the equipment like a champ.
They were definitely. I was feeling things there. We were taking my youngest daughter, our youngest daughter. We were taking pictures, and we heard a bang on the door right outside of one of the buildings there. So that was pretty cool because there was nobody inside the building.
Yeah, it was early
It
morning. It
was
was just the
early in the
two of them.
morning. Yeah,
Wow. You
I'm
have
definitely
a
gonna
jack
hang
in
out
a
there.
box EMF detector?
What's that?
You have a jack in a box?
Yeah,
Yes.
we probably don't have them anymore. We sold out of those.
Well, according to this, right now you have two left.
We have two that we can build still, so that's not a
Well,
problem.
they're not built, but we can build them.
Yeah.
Katie's on.
Hi,
Hello.
Katie.
The idea, there's two products that we've come up with, which is the Spirit Bell, which is this right here.
Matt said the site works.
Oh, it did work. Thank you,
Yeah,
Matt. Appreciate it. So you have a spirit bell, which is, again, it's using an item that they could go ahead and see
yeah,
or recognize easily. But that in the Jack in the Box, there's reasons for it. The Jack in the Box, again, going back to the Ditto House, they have children that will spirit children that will move the little square blocks that have pictures and numbers and stuff. You're familiar with that, Jeremy?
Yep.
So knowing that they can move things around, first I ended up sending them down one of these bells, and the kids play with it relentlessly. And then Denise would be like, "Well, they keep us up." I was like, "But it's got an on-off button as far as for sound. You can cut the sound off." Like, yeah, but we just want to let them have it. It's like, okay. So they're going through batteries.
Just like the sounds.
They enjoy all of it.
I don't know why, but I can tell you that the spirits definitely like using the bell. My grandma was at my dad's house. My grandma passed away, but her spirit was still there, and she learned how to use this bell. And I mean, she was communicating with us all night.
Well, if she used
She
everything
used
that you asked her
everything.
to touch,
She
so
used
that
the
was pretty
cat
wild.
ball. She used the flashlight. She used the bell. Everything went off. Our
Well,
motion sensors were
bells
on.
are so easy. It's just take. There's no resistance at all
Yeah,
to get it to ring.
Well, between this and the Jack in the Box, the idea is the bell itself want to have something that, okay, it's got a great feel to it. It's very sensitive. It will pick up from a very good distance. But people can say, okay, it's the battery, it's this, it's that, the other. How do you debunk everything? If something were to would have to physically to make
yeah.
it ring.
So if
Okay,
it's going
so
off,
already I have a question for you.
Go
Mike.
ahead.
okay.
As you're holding the box, it lights up when your hand gets so close.
Yep.
This hand is right on the box. Why is
Yeah.
it not detecting that?
People miss out on that. An EMF detector, when you're having your hand holding on it, you now become part of the field.
Yeah.
So it's really bizarre. I'm grounding coming
Yeah,
down
you
to
can
my
tell,
foot, but
like,
when I bring this hand up, it's going to go off.
and the field adjusts itself.
It will adjust itself to it.
Yeah.
Very
Bizarre. I know.
interesting.
I'm within it. My hand's right there, obviously a lot closer than my right hand.
Yeah.
That's what I don't get.
People really misunderstand. It's not a perfect circle that goes around it. They change. The field is created, and each individual piece that we build does this exact same
Yeah.
thing. Where it's not, it's going to be exactly even at every spot across.
No, it changes. It sensitivity
You can see the
level
difference there.
changes. It
Mhm.
does. Yeah.
All right, so I'm 4 inches there, but I come at the top, it's way up here,
Yeah.
easily
It's
8 or 10
pretty neat.
inches. So the idea was create something that they would physically, to hear this ring, something has to depress it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that takes out all your debunking for batteries or anything like that. That going back to the Ditto House in Kentucky, the idea was build them a Jack in the Box because it has the crank. So what they would do is they would crank it around and then not go all the way. It has to go all the way around to a certain point before the jack jumps out of the box. So they'll crank it around part of the way and then they leave it. When they come back, the jack is popped out of the box.
Yeah.
So are the kids actually? How is the jack coming out of the box if the kids aren't finishing it up?
That's a good question. Yeah.
So while we were there at the show, the Jack in the Box went really quick.
Yeah.
When
We
we
sold
explained
out.
that to them, between the bells and the Jack in the Boxes, I mean, people were really going nuts. The
And-
Ouija board,
I can't believe the Ouija board didn't hit. I mean, people kept looking at the Ouija board, but they didn't. They didn't go. They were going for the bell. They wanted the bell.
everybody wanted the bell.
Everybody
yes.
wanted the bell.
I'd be going for the bell, but Robert knows my feelings on Ouija boards. So
Yeah.
I'm the same way. Technically, I do not use the Ouija board, but if obviously, I know on a lot of my really more fun locations that there's usually one involved, and if people are going to use them, we're builders.
I'm debating.
Build something that's going to be towards that way. Even the planchettes, we put
Yeah.
planchettes on small boxes, so if you put your hand close to it, it's going to go off too.
Yeah.
And the Ouija board does the same thing. So if you leave the board there and then it starts lighting up, something is trying to interact with the board.
and I also see you got one of your books on the website as well. You don't have the other one on there?
I'm so horrible about putting books out. I mean, I wrote them for information. I have 3 books. I put them out. to try to put the information out in the field, and I've done nothing with them. Honestly,
Oh my gosh,
I write them. That's
Well,
it.
I've only got two of them, so I don't know what I'm missing.
Yeah, the last one is actually True Encounters of a Paranormal
Oh boy, you're
Investigator.
missing the best one.
That's the most interesting one.
That one, and I also have the one about treating.
Treating, yeah, evil.
Yeah,
And then the one before that, the first one was explaining the paranormal.
Now you got to get his
He's got that
personal encounters. You've read that one?
See?
So you know what I'm talking about.
I read that. I read that one last year. That was one of my 200 plus books that I read.
That's crazy. No, like I say, I don't promote them at all. I just put them out from time to time. I happen to have a few in, so I just put them on our Etsy page.
Yeah.
Our Etsy page, we probably have another 30, 40 products that we should be putting on there. We're just horrible about it.
Gina said she didn't know you had a third. Congrats.
I'm sorry, Gina.
Gina, that's the most interesting.
That's the best one,
That's the
honestly. If
best
you
one.
really want to have, if you really want, and whether it sounds crazy, I try to keep them limited to make them short, but what you read in there is 100% real. Trust me. It's pretty bizarre.
I made the book.
Yes, you did.
The craziest that with my kids.
At least you published them. I haven't published any of mine.
You haven't published yours yet?
None of them. No.
Jeremy.
I'm trying to find an agent.
See, I just did self-publishing. I did it the cheapest way possible, throw them out there.
Yeah, I thought about doing that. I even thought about maybe creating my own publishing company.
Yeah.
So that it's not just my name, but an actual brand name to it. I've thought about that, but I don't know. I got no time for promoting, just like you just said. And if I don't promote, well, damn, I'm not going to make any sales.
Yeah, like I said, I don't even track it. And matter of fact, we were on Temu.
Gina, we'll send you that one.
We were on Temu, and she goes, "Oh, here's one of the ghost hunting books on Temu." I had no idea it's even on there.
One of his books someone was selling on Temu. I'm like, how are they selling your books on Temu?
I couldn't tell you. I know I'm not making anything off of it.
I'm like, what?
What's the question there?
Somebody else is selling his books on Temu. I was like, wow.
I did send you one of my books, Robert, long time ago.
Yes, you did.
Yeah.
You write well, man. I mean, I don't understand why you can't hesitate putting stuff out there, though.
Yeah, well, you know how it is. I'm working on my 11th one right now.
Good Lord.
Holy!
You definitely should be
I
putting them
had
out
no
then
idea that
after
you're up
that.
to it. Holy!
That's just novel. I haven't even told you how many short stories and novellas I've made.
Man, you're missing out. You really need to market yourself.
Yes.
That's crazy. You should, man, that's a lot of
Jeremy,
talent getting
the way you
lost.
write, you've got to put it out there. One way or the other, you got to start putting it out there.
Were you able to read the whole novel?
I did not read the entire. I read most of it. I did not read all of it to the end. Quite honestly, I couldn't even tell you. Things got chaotic at the time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
I read all of yours.
Yes,
Word from word.
I know you did. She loves to rag me about one certain one quite a bit. So,
Well,
having
there were a couple in this last book here that you made. It's like, Robert, what the hell did you do back then?
Those red flags. I thought it was like the Indy. You drive towards them. It's always good that way.
I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, but he's been into some
know,
things.
but
many of them.
That's how it is for us sometimes. You see
We're gonna
that?
let that pass.
Dark places.
Let's just move along.
Yeah, you see that red flag, you know you got to go around it, but nope, I'm going right for it.
No, he runs for it.
Yeah. Hey, it's entertaining.
So, yeah, I'm looking at some of this stuff I see. Holy cow, you got a real demonic looking Minnie Mouse here.
The Minnie Mouse is cool. The Mickey Mouse is cool.
Yeah.
Pretty much anything and everything we build. The cats are extremely popular. Her black cats.
See my
I
kitty?
saw that. Yeah.
Matt with Dark Echoes. He was talking about having a Grim Reaper for his show, so I ended up building a Grim Reaper.
We got a
I'm
lot of cool
really
stuff
liking the lantern that you got up there
right there.
because I know that there's a lot of old spirits and they know what
Yes.
lanterns look like. They don't know what flashlights are.
Yeah.
So I like that.
And again, the one with two, anything with two switches, you basically can do with or without sound, so it doesn't contaminate.
Yeah.
And a lot of ideas come from people that we're talking to.
Yeah.
It could be the bell itself. Young lady at one of the vendor shows. I mean, she was not involved like on a team or anything like that. She just said, "Have you ever thought about doing one with a bell?" So we made one with a bell.
Hi, Nick.
It's
Nick's on. Hey, Nick.
just the bell by itself. You don't need anything else added to it.
Well, it's not everything on the other side is going to be able to physically manipulate it and push it down.
True. But
Um,
at least with the bell, like I was saying, it's probably got the least amount of resistance than anything else out there.
true. Yes,
Yeah.
true. It's actually gone off here at the house. I heard it a couple of times, and then Marie and our daughter, they heard it when I started telling
Yeah. The
Marie about it. They
actual
weren't
bell
home.
being
The
rang.
actual bell was being rang down
Yeah.
here,
Yeah.
and the cat was with me upstairs. We have nothing else in here to ring it that would
Just
be able
about
to
to
ring.
ask you about pets.
What's that?
I was just about to ask you about pets when you said the cat was up there with you.
Again, you have to debunk everything. So I'm like checking, and of course she stays. If I'm the only one home, she's going to stay with me. If Marie's home, she stays with Marie all the time. She's usually I just have to scare her away so she wouldn't be jumping from chair to chair. Normally she's behind us jumping on.
Yeah.
And real quick, I got to address this. Hey, Nick, these guys came on 10 minutes early.
Yeah. We were early.
Yes, they were on before I was. You need
Gotta,
to learn from him.
gotta be punctual.
It
So,
helps. It helps when you're setting it up.
yeah, well, I'm now
It makes a difference with our blood pressure. Or
30. Yeah. So what else? What else can we expect from you guys here in the near future? I know you're constantly working on stuff.
Well, we got our doll collection that we have. Our we can't say REM pod anymore, so EMF detecting dolls. Those are cool.
they are cool.
Our Ouija board that was new. What else, babe?
Yeah, we've got a couple of different. There's a few more things that are in the works that are going to be coming
We
out
got to
here
get
shortly.
better at putting everything on Etsy. We really we don't have anything.
The ironic
new on
part
it.
is watching how many times somebody starts copying our products. It's
Yeah.
like, really, come
Somebody's
on,
copying our bill already.
be original for a change, please.
Yeah, we get everything gets copied.
My friend, actually, I think you know him, Brad Webb.
Yep, yep.
He has come to me many times showing me, okay, this is what I just started doing, and now look what these people are doing. They're doing
Yeah, it doesn't take the people long to copy your stuff.
We're
No.
still going to make some. I want to make some more equipment though
Yeah.
that has. Again, to me, it's next level. It's something that you can't really debunk. If the Jack in the Box is popping out, if the bell is being rang, I want something else that besides it lighting up or letting you know that there's something close to it,
Yeah.
something physically. We know physically things are moved. So it's not a question of can it. Not every spirit or energy can do it, but the idea that if they do it, how do you debunk it?
Yeah.
You're not going to debunk it. It's going to show. And once it gets caught on video, like I'm hoping to be able to catch even the Jack in the Box being popped up. See if, try to hide a camera and
I would
down at
definitely
the Ditto
like to
House.
see that. I would definitely like to see that. I'm liking this Care Bear thing that you got as well. Doesn't look like the kind of Care Bear that I remember though.
Those are the newer ones.
It's taken some soft approaches though. I mean, if you're going to be with children or something like that, you want to use a little softer.
We
Not everything
sold
is
a
loud.
lot
Some
of
things
Care
are loud.
Bears.
Some things are quieter, depending if it's what you're actually targeting.
The Care Bear is popular.
Extremely popular.
I
yes.
need to make some more of those.
I've got a Care Bear myself.
I used to have every Care Bear when I was younger. I had the whole collection.
Oh wow, wow.
I had every one. That was my.
Um, one thing on here that I see that I thought was a really good idea is the one with the British flag.
Yep.
I'm sure that probably uh, lights up a lot when you go around the Revolutionary War battlefields.
Again, it's to have something that's going to be, the American flag, the British flag,
Yeah.
anything you can do that could, again, in certain areas, what you're targeting, get activity from. Absolutely.
You could probably make one with a Confederate flag and take
Yeah,
it up to Gettysburg and see how that reacts.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's, again, that's putting, besides just having a contraption, they're actually having something that has a purpose or something they can relate to us is a big deal. That's, giving you the extra advantage.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned dolls just a minute ago. Where is that one that I remember one very drunken lie that you did?
His girl is behind him. He keeps his girl close by.
Is that the one? Okay.
He's right there.
I think this is the one that I had when
Yeah.
I was doing the live
God, that
after
was
drinking
hilarious.
the tea or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, that specialty. Yep. I
Yeah.
remember that
Specialty.
lie very well.
That one, yeah.
That was right before he met me. He's better now.
Much better now. Yes.
The calm before the storm.
Yeah.
Candles, lamps, something to set up. Bear with me a second. To that point.
We have a lamp with a candle in it, actually.
Yes. To Beth's comment, it actually has a candle on the inside.
Well, let
Battery's
me
probably
put
dead
you
by
on
now.
full screen.
What's
So
that?
I'm going to put you on full screen.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
So to Beth's comment, I do not have a battery in it right now, but it's a candle that's inside. It's got a LED that's put in the center, and anything of the metal itself is actually the antenna. So if something were to come close to it or touch it,
Yeah.
it would light up the LED in the middle. As far as
This is not for sale. This is mine.
this,
Just this is my collection.
this is the lanterns are actually just the second item that I built with the help of my son. Fortunately, it makes a world of difference. Can you set that over on the corner?
The way that the glass is, it looks like you got it filled with water.
I love that one.
Looks like what?
The way that the glass is, it looks like it's filled with water.
Oh wow!
No, it's not water, but it's a cool looking lantern.
It's probably filled with tea.
Yeah. Knowing Rob. Yeah.
You know what? It's so rare that I do that in the first place
Yeah,
with that
I can't
specialty.
I can't even get him to do that, actually.
I was
Like-
thinking, holy cow, Robert, what the hell are you doing?
Beth, to your point, I have equipment,
Right,
and I'm
Beth?
thinking like I'd ask Marie, hey, have you seen the planchette that's like this, or have you seen that? And she's like,
I saw the planet on here as well. Yeah, it looks very decorative. Like
which one?
the planchette, it looks like it's got roses on it or something.
Oh, they're all different kinds of planchettes that we have.
Yeah, but it's going back as far as to Beth's comment.
Oh, this
We'll
one
find
is
out.
skull and like a crystal ball where the little hole is at.
Yeah.
Come find out, my wife has her own little cabinet in the room back there where she's been stashing things away like a squirrel with a nut. I mean, she's got.
Yeah, but those are mine.
I'll build something up.
They're mine.
Poor Matt. Matt was like, he's been wanting a Grim
Yeah.
Reaper, so I built this Grim Reaper, and she's like, no, I think I'm going to have to fight Matt for that.
Yeah.
I'm like, come
One
on.
of those is mine, by the way.
So speaking of Matt, the dark shadows.
Dark
Dark
Echoes?
Echoes.
Yeah. So
Yep.
when are those shows going to be out, or are they already out?
They're actually already out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And where can they be seen?
Amazon, I know there's a couple of different outlets.
Amazon Prime and Paraflix are the two that I'm aware of. But there's also another one, I think Hulu, but I'm not sure if that one's gone live on Hulu yet.
He's got one or two others that are already
Yeah.
picking it up as well.
Yeah.
So fantastic. And of course, we're really happy about it because they're using our equipment.
Yeah.
So it's a trade-off. It lets
Yeah.
people see how the equipment's used. So works well.
Well, have him use my dog whistles.
I'm telling you, I love the
I
idea of
can
that.
hear dog whistles. That's the thing. I don't like those.
Well,
I don't know.
it
You do
depends on
react
which
though.
whistles you get because they're all of different frequencies.
I don't know. I usually can hear them. It hurts my ears.
Yeah, like the main one that I use, you can hear it, but I have others that you can't. So it just depends on the range of frequency that you can hear.
Well,
And
they got that death whistle too. I like that one's cool.
oh,
That's
I
crazy.
have one of my own, a death whistle.
Those are cool.
Yeah, if you don't warn somebody, you might lose
I
somebody on your.
haven't gotten one of those, but I'm going to. Not yet.
Yeah, but if you're going to use the death whistle, you need to get like 20 of them all at once and use them together.
Oh, cool.
Oh no.
That's yeah. That might do something.
Yeah.
You do know the whole purpose of the death whistle, right?
What's the purpose?
What? I mean, I don't know. What is it?
Well, if you get like 100 death whistles and they're all used at the same time, it sounds like a stampede of 1,000 people coming at you. That's what the Indians did it back in the ancient times.
Oh wow.
It was more of a scare tactic than anything else. That was the original purpose of the death whistles.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you do it 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock in the morning. I guarantee
I
you're
know
gonna
they
lose some
they
people.
just have a cool sound to them. I like it.
It does, and they're all supposed to have varying sounds to it.
Yeah,
Each one different. If you get them all together, and it sounds like holy hell is coming at you.
I bet it does.
Yeah, that's what the Indians did way back then. So,
That's
all
it.
right. Well, we've been at this thing for a
Oh
little
yeah,
over an hour. It just feels like we've been at it for 5 minutes.
You ain't kidding.
yeah.
Told you I can blab pretty well.
That's one of the reasons why I love having you on this show. You practically do my job for me.
Just trying to be helpful.
Yeah, very well. But we also got to know Marie,
Yes.
Yeah.
so that's very good. And also you guys have picked up your Sunday show again.
We have the EPS Paratalk. We do host the EPS Paratalk. Not sure if we're going to stay on Sunday. We have another couple we've been working with recently. We're very much in tune, in sync when we go to a location. So we're definitely going to start back up with some more live investigations. We've been wanting to do them, and now Marie's here. She's like, "Yeah, I definitely want to do them."
Mm-hmm.
Just brings a whole new avenue, whole new level to it when other people, because people at home can participate in them. They
Yeah.
can make their comments or help see what's going on, or people with abilities like Beth, she can kind of clue us in what she's picking up on. It'd be helpful.
Yeah, Beth, we need a medium on our team. Where are you at?
I do honestly miss not having somebody who is gifted on our team. That
Yeah,
is
I'm gifted but sane.
too many people out there, boy. They just, it's
Oh god.
the ones that I like the best are the ones that really don't talk about themselves or introduce themselves about
Yeah.
being, gifted in one way or another, and they don't need business cards that have different titles on both sides. There are several out there that, they probably carry around 2 or 3 business cards for all their different.
Yeah, Beth says I'm on board.
See, Beth
There
has
you go,
picked
Beth.
up on quite a bit of stuff
Yeah.
before, so
That's good. And it's like we're watching Marie grow up before our very own eyes.
you're gonna see quite a bit.
So you do know what that means, don't you?
What does that mean?
You're the bait.
Oh, I already know that.
Yeah, I'm getting shirts made up for that.
I know for sure I'm the
She
bait.
see why she's a keeper. I mean,
Yeah.
she understands that. And I know some people are thinking that's a joke, and
It's
sorry,
not.
but it really isn't. We go to locations and things are going to happen.
But it's a good thing to have that because at least now you have somebody at the very least try to understand what you do. But in this case, she's in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in it.
Push her out if you tried.
It just a
I
week
love
ago
it.
we went to a location and it was a residential, and there's some really crazy background to what's happened
Oh
at this
yeah.
location. And when we first walked through, we just did the first initial walkthrough so that us and the other couple, everybody could kind of get a feel for this location. And we come back outside to talk about it. And
I was right again. I picked up on
but what was your
exactly.
first reaction? How did you feel about being in that house?
I was like, I don't ever want to go back in that house ever again.
But did you?
Yeah, I did.
Spent the entire evening, late evening, early morning in the house. So again, like you said, watching
Yep.
her grow, to experience it. If you haven't been, so it's one thing to see it on the outside, watch the shows, maybe have a couple personal encounters or experiences,
Yeah.
but to be immersed into it,
Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty.
It's definitely different than before, because when I was living in an active haunted house, I did not like I did not like it. But that's before I understood things a lot better than I do now.
That right there is a lot of what we have to deal with, people not understanding the situation,
Yeah.
whether if it's paranormal or otherwise.
correct.
Yeah. I've
That's
been on both sides, so I get it. That's why I want to help people. I know what it's like. It sucks to be terrified. It sucks.
oh yeah, and that's why most of us do what we do.
I think I got. I mean, I think because of what I've been through, it's I don't know. It kind of what it desensitizes me somewhat. I think
I
so.
think to
It
a
takes a
point.
lot. It would take a lot for me to. I don't know.
I would actually put it as, because you have been through it, it makes you more sympathetic for
Yeah.
for the people that you go to.
Oh yeah. Definitely.
That's how I would put it.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the activity, it's not just the random stuff that will, there's always a jump scare. She came down the stairs a few months back where we heard a crazy sound come. What we thought our daughter was up. It's a split level, so our daughter's up in her bedroom,
Yeah.
and we hear this weird sound come out of there that was very loud and
Yeah.
very
It's
non.
like a shrieking
It
sound.
wasn't anything that we've ever heard in the house. Not
Yeah.
something, not like an animal or something like that, but we just didn't know what it was. So she takes off. I'm right behind her. We're in the living room. We run up to our daughter's bedroom, check on her. She's sound asleep.
Yeah.
I stay there to watch just to make sure she wasn't having some strange dream. And by chance, it's her. Not that we'd ever heard some sound. In the meantime, Marie starts to come back downstairs. She gets down again, split level. So she comes down to the first set of stairs, and then there's another set that she's in the foyer. The other set goes down into the basement. When she turned the corner, there was a 6-foot shadow figure standing right
Oh
there.
yeah.
I think she scared it more than it scared
I
her.
scream. I have to say, yeah, that startled me pretty bad.
So jump scares
Yeah.
can absolutely happen. And the poor girl, she turns around. I get her over to the couch, get her to calm down and
I'm
everything.
having a heart
trying
attack.
to, because she's like, I think I'm having a heart attack. Oh my, it's just, again, she was just face to face with this thing that shouldn't be in her house, So I've got my phone, and she's like, "Are you taking pictures?" I'm like, "Of course not, honey. No, but I am videotaping."
Yeah. That's what I'm doing. Yes.
So, before I wrap up, you mentioned earlier you got a cat in the house now.
Yes.
Yes.
How does it react to stuff that goes on in the house?
Oh yeah. It picks up on things. She's always seeing stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I tell anybody, your house, can you have a mouse on a wall that we can't see or know about, but they could hear? Sure. You can get things like that which those tend to go on a
Why you
particular
need
path.
a thermal camera.
What's that?
That's why you need a thermal camera.
That absolutely would be very, very helpful. But
Yeah.
again, to be able to try to rule things off, but when you see what they're doing at different times and there's nothing, we can't physically see what's there. She definitely has reacted more than
Yes.
enough times that something has scared the hell out of her.
We do have activity here. I mean, it's sometimes more active than others, but not as much as Rob would like. But
I know he's told several different stories of things happening in that house. I remember one was like little glass dolls.
yeah, the
Figurines.
figurines.
Yeah.
Well, see, he cleansed the house, so kind of got rid of whatever. It didn't
It
have
only
activity for a
targeted
while.
really the one.
Really not if you're seeing 6 foot shadow
Well,
figures.
I mean, for a little while after that, but I mean, there's some other stuff that has happened.
She stated that she wants more activity in the house and wanted to know how you could get more activity. I was like, you have to keep opening the box. You got to keep asking questions and keep
Yeah,
putting equipment out.
and we
Now we
do.
have more activity in the house, and it's
Yeah,
great,
and
but
we
it's
got
not good enough.
we got Rob's dad came through a couple times. That was neat.
I'm not one for phone apps and stuff like that, but
Yeah, I
I,
don't. I won't do those.
everything can be manipulated, and that's what I explain to people. So we
Yeah,
usually have equipment going, and the idea is to have confirmation from
Mhm.
multiple sources.
Yeah,
So she's got her phone app going, and I'm going, all right, stop. If you're really here with me, I need to know something specific, because these words come through, and it's
yeah,
our own mindset. We try to connect the dots.
Mhm.
And we can connect almost anything that's said, we can connect to making it sound like it reasonably fits to us.
right.
But when I said that, I said, look, I need something truly specific to this location. And Marie comes through. I was like, okay, that's one. That got my attention, but that's one. I'll discount one. Well, Luna's right there on the couch, and then it says Luna, our cat.
Our cat's name.
I was like, all right, that's two in a row, and that's two specifics. Now you got my attention. And then Raymond comes through, and which
That's
is my dad.
his dad.
And he's come through at the house before
And,
through Janie
and your
used to live
brother's
here.
name came through.
Then my brother's name comes through, and but
Yeah,
I we're not just sticking to the phone app. Then I'll say, okay, if you're really here, when I name your favorite son, go ahead and light the lantern up.
yeah,
And when I got to his favorite son, sure enough, the lantern lights up, and then through the phone app comes Chris. And it's
yeah.
like,
Sure did.
so there's ways of honestly checking it. It's just, don't allow yourself to just get roped in. You hear a word and go, oh, it associates automatically.
Yeah, I have tried different phone apps. I the one that I remember specifically testing out was supposed to be like an EMF detector. So I'm running it through the house. I get to the circuit breaker, nothing. But when I get away from it, boom, it lights up. Yeah, no.
Yeah, those aren't going to, your phone's just not wired for it. That's
Yeah.
not going to work.
Yeah, and I knew it, but I still wanted to test it out to see what it did,
Yeah.
what it looks like. And after that, no, I haven't tried another one
I
since.
know. I tried the app for what is the SLS? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I hate the SS.
And everything, I'm
Same.
like,
Too many false
yeah,
positives.
everything. There were stick figures everywhere. I'm like, this is not right. Yeah,
No, again, you got to learn the equipment, and there's no doubt in my mind everything can be manipulated,
yeah,
including people, but definitely equipment can be manipulated. But knowing how your equipment's going to act when it has a low battery, as opposed to, and taking the time to try to go ahead and debunk while you're actively investigating. It's like cat balls. Cat balls are extremely popular. Somebody have a cat ball and it'll go off, and they go off for it's
I
like 7 seconds.
hate those things because I've stepped on a lot of them.
yeah.
Have a single one. I've stepped on a few others, and I've seen other people step on them because you can't see them.
Right.
Yeah.
No, you're absolutely right. But once, people get fascinated once they get a ball that goes off and it's flashing. Well, after several times, switch the ball with another ball. Then
Yeah.
you know it's not your battery, and see if it goes off, or does it follow that one particular ball.
We had that at Wildwood. That was neat.
Those were cool.
And I got my shirt tugged there.
The expression on her face is
Oh
just
my god,
golden. When
I love Wildwood.
you can, again, so often it's like if you watch a show, it's almost expressionless when something happens. It's like the person saying, "Oh, look, it's jerking my arm,"
No.
but there's no expression to
We
it.
were live on TikTok when it happened. I wish we had the clip. We would play it.
Her eyes get about this big, and she's like,
It was because I
"Oh."
knew it was a little kid, so I was happy about that. Then I was also happy he was interacting with me. So it was
I
cute.
love the energy she brings to it. It just, it's wholesome. It brings it home, which is great.
So when are you guys coming to Kentucky?
Next weekend.
Next
Yeah,
week.
it's actually next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
You realize I'm only 4 hours away from them.
Get out. Are you
What?
serious?
Wow.
All right, we got to talk after the show.
Well, our daughter's going to be going with her sisters for a month for summer vacation, so maybe we could figure something out.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Yeah, because it takes me 4 hours just to get down to Louisville.
Yeah.
We'll
Um,
have to we'll see what we can actually plan out because we've been making some trips recently as far as to trying to go out, extend our range, and then she's I'm seeing the field through a new set of eyes, which is great because I really don't do the paid location stuff like
I
that.
want to do
But if they're on
those.
her bucket list now we're going. So we get a chance to do a lot more. I'm more open to things.
Yeah.
yeah, we need to try to get you in at Crown Point because we had you coming to Crown Point that
Yep.
one time, and then you broke your elbow or your forearm. Yeah,
Yeah, my tendon got snapped off my forearm. Yeah, that was weird.
yeah. This happened
Messing
like
with you.
days before we were supposed to take off. I'm thinking, well, shit.
Yeah, no, that was should be in the book too.
Yeah, it's in the book. You'll understand it.
Yeah, because I remember you were going to be surprising my teammates. Um, yeah, damn it.
I was absolutely looking forward to it, Jeremy, honestly, and I'm so sorry about
I
that
know the
still.
last time something happened too, we were supposed to do a live with you. I can't remember. It's like there's always something that happens. Like
It,
dang.
you guys had gotten sick because it was the day after you got married, and
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
you both came down with the flu or something.
Yeah, we got sick quite a few times.
Yes. Unfortunately.
Rob really got sick. He got hammered this year.
It's been
Yeah, he was pretty bad.
Yeah, because he messaged me that the day of, and I thought, well, damn.
I
And
know. I
I,
felt bad. I'm so sorry.
I thought, okay, maybe it's just a 24-hour thing, and then you guys cancel that weekend for your own show, and
Yeah.
I think you canceled the following weekend. I was like,
yep.
Yeah.
It
damn.
was horrible. When we've gotten sick, it's been for weeks. It hasn't
And
been
it's like we both get sick. Well, we all seem to get sick. All so.
yeah,
Hey,
we've had some wonderful runs lately. Whew.
keep it in the family.
Yeah. I prefer nobody share anymore.
No.
Not
Damien's on.
Damien. Hey, buddy.
good, good morning. Okay, so you must be on the other side of the
He
world.
is. He's in the UK, right?
Okay. Well, we are coming up to about an hour and a half. This show is only supposed to be an hour. But you know what? Truth be told, my network,
Right. Hey, you can do what you want to do.
Robert Marie, it has been such a pleasure having you two on here. We know you're going to be on here again
Yeah.
sometime in the next season, which won't be until October. Um, but in the meantime, tell everybody out there where they can find you, where they can get your equipment. I will put the link back up here again.
I appreciate that very much. Again, we're Elite Paranormal Society. You can definitely find us on Facebook. That's really where we're the most active right now on social media. We are going to change that and also be jumping onto TikTok and more on YouTube. Have a channel on YouTube already, but really don't do a whole lot with it. 24 Elite is the name of our building site of it. When we're building equipment and we're selling, that's under 24 Elite. So right now, our Etsy shop is 20 up on. Thank you, Jeremy. Appreciate you putting that up.
If I can jump in real quick, why 24?
24 Elite, always try. The idea of Elite is just raising above. 24/7, always try to go above.
Okay.
So that's just stuck with me. There's no other real reason for that number. If you got a better suggestion, let me know.
No,
We're stuck with that one now.
She
I
says,
it actually makes me think of that one movie production company, um, 20 24 something, 42 something. It's got the same numbers, I think.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
not
don't know.
not even sure
It's
about
one of
that.
the newer production companies, but he's been putting out some really big movies.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
You too, Damien.
Yeah, you're gonna see our equipment out on several SVC Explorers of the Unknown. They use our equipment. Dark Echoes Paranormal TV show will be using is using our equipment. We got quite a bit going out.
Oh yeah, Twin Paranormal. They bought a bunch of our equipment and they used it at Wildwood.
The Ditto House.
And yeah,
Definitely gonna go ahead and stack them up with a couple more items down there. So looking forward to it. But it's an honor, man. We
Yeah.
appreciate being on.
Yeah,
Jeremy, thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much.
Great to have you guys back on here. I was actually afraid I wasn't going to get you guys this season.
Oh no.
But then when I hopped on to that first live show that you did, and you mentioned that you owed me a show, and
Yeah, we did. We didn't forget.
I forgot about that. So I'm glad you reminded me of it.
Well, we want to also flip the roles. We want to make sure we bring you on our show
Yeah.
as a guest. So
We need to have more guests. We always do it. Just it
True.
seems like our thing.
Just let me know.
Yeah.
Just let me know. I'm
Yeah.
available.
You're our first guest.
Anytime. Just let me know. I will make sure I can do it because usually my calendar is pretty full.
Wow. Yes, it is.
It looks like ours.
Yeah, and this is for a guy who does not go to work.
Well, while you're doing all that, that is work.
That's right.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Jeremy, when's your book coming out, Jeremy?
Yeah.
Jeremy,
you need to
when's
have,
the book coming out, Jeremy?
You need to get those out there.
When are you
to the
publishing
public.
your books, Jeremy?
You really should be.
How many do you have to publish, Jeremy?
La, 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 la.
Right?
To be determined. That'll be my All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for playing along with us tonight. Thank you, Robert, Marie, for being on the show. Always a pleasure having you on the 13th dimension. You're pretty much. I don't want to say it to make anybody else jealous, but you're pretty much our favorite guest.
Aw,
Very
you.
honored. Very, very honored, man. We appreciate that. I'll pay you later.
I don't know when the next show will be. It's basically whenever I feel like it.
I like that schedule. Yeah.
It's a
That's
nice
my
schedule to have. It's a nice schedule to have.
Yeah, it is.
Sometimes you got the grind of it. It's like, I don't want to do another show. So
Yeah.
doing it this way, it's like I'm excited for each show that comes up.
Yes.
All right. So there won't be a 13th dimension next week, but there will be supernatural talk with myself, Nick, and Adrian, and maybe Eileen if she's able to get off of work. That'll be on Thursdays at the same time on the Things Network and the Supernatural channel on YouTube. Meanwhile, visit the 24 Elite website on Etsy and then everywhere else that they got it. Go to their channels. And once again, thank you guys so much. And we will see you guys next time. All have a good night
Nice.
and have a
Night.
good weekend.